Hello guys, I continue my English speaking materials. I'm quite new in this area, so let's try to go on. Let's force my material. And I want to share with you the interesting thoughts which came to my mind today. I read some Jewish magazine, and it was devoted partially to 9th of Av. It's commemoration of some mourning events like temple destruction, and I saw some description of some event which included meeting with parents of soldiers who were killed, fallen on the Gaza battlefield. So Israeli soldiers, young guys who were heroically fought in the war, and they died recently. And some interesting thoughts came to my mind. You know, from one hand, strange war, and it's not like liberating war or some war which was absolutely necessary for survival of Israel state or something like this. So it's a little bit controversial. So usually when you see young guys who can live and bring kids and be happy, and instead of that they were killed, so you feel a little bit confusing, because it's a little bit unclear what was the purpose of all this situation, especially when you don't have a clear necessity of this war. But it's very beneficial to look deeper and find some unusual or interesting angles. So what came to my mind? I saw pictures of fathers or sister of fallen soldiers, and I realized interesting thing, that most of these people in previous life, they were regular private people who live routine life, like all people who born, grow, bring kids, just routine people whose life is not especially interesting to other people, because just like most of us private people who prefer to stay private and don't want to be public and official. But what happened? Because the kids, their sons, drafted to army, and when they died, it was interesting that the status of their parents changed. So when I see pictures...
In 2 miles, use the right 2 lanes to take exit 16 for New York 17 toward US 6 Harriman.
Sorry, I'm on the road, so it's like a voice from the Shamayim, from heaven. Yeah, so what I want to tell you, that these people become like public, and the pictures represent people who feel seriously about something, about their mission, about some message they want to share with other people. And these people looked seriously, like made a real upgrade of their identity. So it looks like instead of being just private random people about whom nobody knows anything, so they became, we can say famous, but this word is not best describes these people, but at least they become something meaningful. There is even some podcast meaningful people, so there is some meaning in their stories, even if it's not about them, but about their kids. So people are keepers and carriers of some meaning. And so it looks like we see that these people change their status from just private to public. And how they happen? Because the kids died in the war, and we understand that these people...
In half a mile, use the right 2 lanes to take exit 16 for New York 17 toward US 6 Harriman.
Experienced real tragedy, and we feel their pain, and so we understand that these people
use the right 2 lanes to take exit 16.
Live in quite tragic situations, but gradually they are feeling transformed.
Continue for 40 miles.
Okay. It's okay. So their life transformed from just being tragic to being heroic, and so they feel important that maybe they can carry the message from their kids, or at least they feel that their life is not for nothing, because they bring to life their kid who was heroically died or something like this, and so it was real transformation. So even if these people didn't want this change in their life, it happens. It looks like we can say that it's God's will was that this happened. So these people changed their life from private to public, and so it's not that they wanted, but they should realize it, and so many of them started to utilize this new possibility, and so they started to feel that they're important and they can give message and they can share this message. And so when they have public speech on some meetings, these people represent and express and translate and make a special message which gives other people strength, and so these people become like carriers of some important mission statement for other people. So this transformation is really very interesting. So even if they personally didn't participate in the war, but their kids, so but they become like these carriers of this message, and so it's very interesting to observe and to realize that it's, even if we don't know how the kids were killed, usually some of them just were shot by some terrorists or blew on some explosives, something like this. So, but nevertheless, their parents become like really public people, and they started to feel their importance, and so it's an interesting transformation. Moreover, we can connect it to Torah, to idea of Akedat Yitzhak, that sacrifice of Yitzhak. But it's different, but not exactly. So from one hand, in Torah story, God told Abraham to bring son to sacrifice. So he tested Abraham if he is ready to accept God's will, and by the end, it was happy end because Hashem didn't want to kill his son. But here it's like opposite. So nobody planned that his son will be killed, but when he was killed, so we can consider that it's because it was God's will, and if anyway we should accept God's will, because when somebody died, we say Baruch Dianamet, we say that he's judge, righteous judge, and so we believe that if Hashem did it, and it was for some purpose, and at least now their parents or their relatives become something. Their life become more meaningful, and they change from just a private life of a random person to some life with meaning, and it's very important for them that they, even with this painful situation, it changed their life, and so it become really important, and we should respect them, and not only express pity to them, but also express respect, and we can stay with them in the meaningful position. I also want to say a couple words, because usually one of my businesses, I'm ceremonial rabbi, so I usually make ceremonies not only in happy events like bar mitzvah and wedding, but also on some when somebody died. So on cemetery, just an hour ago, I made a ceremony on unveiling monument to some person who died, and so their family came to the ceremony. So usually my mission as a rabbi is just to elevate the status of this person. It's not like he live and die and that's all, but he says that he has soul, and so his soul has connection to other people, so it's quite meaningful experience, and my job is to elevate the experience from just mundane to some special, and I told that I have privilege to join the ceremony, and I elevate in their eyes the status of what happened, and so it's very important. So that's what was my responsibility in this project, this process. So it's very important to understand that can happen. And I think that it's very beneficial to look from this perspective to this situation, and it helps us to see many good details. And I don't cover this topic, so there are other ideas, but not for this video. But I think that it's beneficial for you to think this way, and just to change your mind to more wider perspective and looking at this situation from more elevated point of view. Thank you for your attention. See you soon.